Unfortunately, something that I feel like I predicted was going to happen has successfully happened. An absolute nightmare scenario. How many of you guys remember Ollie London, the BTS Jimin stalker? We got some choice photos here of Ollie London that you might recognize. You see, Ollie London is a British person who publicly spent a shit ton of money on transitioning into becoming Korean, trans-Korean, they said, so that they could become quote-unquote K-pop gendered and be like Jimin, like literally become Jimin. They changed their name to Jimin, the K-pop singer. And the whole time, like this person's going on Dr. Phil and like on every single media engagement they can get. PewDiePie's dunking on them. The entire trans community is dunking on them for their very clear, like attention-seeking grift. Like this is not a trans person. This is not even a person who's mentally ill doing this. This is a blatant attention-seeking grifter who is willing to do whatever it takes to have attention online and to make a career off of that, and is willing to do whatever it takes to their body to do so. That is what this is. And the trans community has been telling them as such for well over a year. Years now. Now, this person is a massively pathetic piece of shit. Now, let's get like a little bit... let's get a little bit of like a peek of like what Ollie London was like before their current grift started.
The most handsome, most beautiful man in the whole world, Park Jimin, marrying a cardboard cutout. I guess that's like my biggest flex. You know, it really depends on my mood. Some days I'm like, konnichiwa, arigato gozaimasu when I wake up. And other days I'm like, annyeonghaseyo, kamsahamnida. I like to switch things up just a little bit, because I'm chincha baka.
I was busy thinking about boys. Baka. Boys.
Big.
Boys. So, just a very, very massive cringe lord. Hey, stop it, please get some help. This is a pretty, like... This pretty much kind of encompasses the overwhelming response that this person has gotten online. Yeah, this person basically just does, like, full-time Asian face. And, like, literally the entire internet jumped on board with dunking on this person. Left and right, from, like, liberals to conservatives, like, political figures to non-political figures. In fact, PewDiePie even made a video on Ollie London. Just a little peek at PewDiePie's video to see what the general sentiment on Ollie London was back a year ago when they were doing this stuff.
Annyeonghaseyo. How's it going, everyone? As you know, I am the biggest BTS stan. And you know what? I forgive them for unfollowing me on Twitter. It was 3 years ago. I don't even use Twitter anymore. I forgive. Jungkook, I forgive.
PewDiePie is a massive K-pop fan.
So, and you might think, Felix, how can you be the biggest BTS stan? Because I understand BTS, okay? But there's one BTS stan that might have me trumped, and that is, of course, the one, the only, Ollie London. Ollie's been posting a lot lately. Ollie's been very busy. There's a message for Dr. Phil.
So I've just completed my transition to look Korean, to look just like Jimin. This, I think, is my final procedure, so I'm so happy to share this with you, even though you're probably going to be so mad at me. Like, I know you're going to go crazy at me next time you see.
Notice, by the way, this is Ollie London acknowledging that they are getting nothing but rejection and people begging them to stop doing this, and no acceptance for this. Like, this is Ollie London confirming that they were not encouraged to do any of this. That little detail will become important later.
See me just because you told me not to do anything. You told me to love the real me, love the real Ollie. And I did take your advice for like a year, but then I kind of just changed my mind. So please don't be mad at me, Dr. Phil, but I'm so happy to have transitioned from British to Korean. I'm now...
Say that again? You transitioned race? Is that what we're doing now? Can you imagine someone transitions to be Swedish? Why would you do that? Why would you do this? Oh god. Okay, so for those of you who don't know or don't remember.
So, if it's not already obvious, At best, Ollie London was a desperate person who needs attention and money to thrive and exist, and was willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that, and pretending as though this is something they genuinely want to do for themselves, no matter how much pushback they get, right? But honestly, at the end of the day, it's mostly like memeing. But worst case scenario, this is somebody who is deliberately acting as a psyop to make the trans community look bad. Let's be honest, that is the effect that, it kind of had. Ollie London's existence did make the trans community look bad, but Ollie London is not done making the trans community look bad, it turns out. You see, the whole trans Korean TikTok star thing, or whatever, really didn't work out. So they've decided their new grift, their new attention-seeking, money-making endeavor is to take the detransitioner route. This is now what Ollie London looks like. Complete visual change, which is quite necessary when a lot of the internet recognizes you as that crazy TikTok, TikTok BTS stalker. And Ollie London, still under the same name, has successfully rebranded as a massive conservative detransitioner figure. A few months ago, Ollie London's tweets were getting a couple hundred likes because no one was falling for the grift. But with how much, attention there is for, transphobic, how much desire there is for transphobic media now, especially from detransitioners, Ollie London now has 119,000 fans following them on Twitter. And the likes they get on their posts, whole lot of likes for the most part. These are just a couple hours old. Thousands of likes. Literally, it's all just anti-trans stuff. It's all about how, they're a detransitioner who's now an anti-trans now. And they made a book. Gender ideology is causing irreparable harm across society. How did we get where we are now? What is behind the push to transition kids? How does social media play a role? How can we push back and save children? My book answers all these questions. And more. Please pre-order to help me in the battle against gender ideology. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Bookshop. Of course, all these platforms are supporting this, of course. And Ollie London is going to make a shit ton of money from this. And as you can imagine, here's the best part. Ollie London now has a massive fan base, more attention and more popularity than they've ever had, and is now blatantly lying about how they were supposedly groomed into this and were convinced to do all of this when they were actively arguing with the entire internet about how this is what's right for them. And guess what? You want to know what the best part is? Nobody is dunking on Ollie London anymore. When Ollie London was doing the trans Korean TikTok stalker thing, a BTS stalker thing, half the internet was making videos on this guy, dunking on Ollie London, taking the piss out of him. Now that Ollie London has successfully created a career and is no longer a lolcow but a successful, influential figure, and is now making mass amounts of money off of blatant lies, no one's calling them out. There's no PewDiePie video updating us all on the tales of Ollie London. You want to know who the one YouTuber that has mainstream appeal and isn't a lefty YouTuber who's talked about this that I've seen cover this is? iNabber. And iNabber's LGBT and like pretty openly left-leaning for a mainstream YouTuber who doesn't do political content. So really, there's not any impetus by mainstream content creators to dunk on Ollie London now. And do you know why? It's because no matter how big of a lolcow you are as a conservative, you can really only be so much of a lolcow and be conservative. The whole lolcow dunk on people for being ridiculous culture literally just it comes from the right. The idea of being cruel to those online and making fun of those online that you deem as different from you and as a joke, that's a conservative value. That is a conservative idea. That is a rightoid cultural thing. And so now that Ollie London is one of them, well, now there's no point in doing it. And even when it comes to the apolitical content creators that were dunking on Ollie London before, our general culture, whether they realize it or not, influences what content they make. Their fan base is most likely influenced by this state, heavily influenced by this state of conservative control of our culture. So chances are, a figure like, I don't know, let me think of a general content creator like PewDiePie. PewDiePie probably knows he's not going to get a lot of views on a video dunking on Ollie London for his detransitioner grift, talking about the gender madness, making kids woke or whatever, even if he is calling out lies and making fun of Ollie London, and it would still be a successful video, but not as successful as if he was making fun of a trans Korean TikTok star. Because it's funnier. And unfortunately, when it comes to what the culture is against and what it'll allow to slip, it's what's funnier to go after. What's funnier to go after? And unfortunately, what our current culture determines to be funnier to go after is minorities. So, yeah. Ollie London is now going to be a household name, conservative figure. And knowing that, like, the lengths that Ollie London is willing to go, they're probably going to be the detransitioner. On the bright side, on the surface, as shit as this may look, it does spell the future end of this, like, era of right-wing domination. How many right-wing conservatives do you think are going to be able to defend the rights propping up of this figure when it's brought up what this person has done in the past and what they've said when they were doing those things, that they were doing it for themselves and not because they were being groomed, and that's blatant lies? How many of the people that are following Ollie London don't even know? That's the big thing. How many people who follow Ollie London just know Ollie London was trans at some point in their mind, like a detransitioner, but doesn't know what they detransitioned from? How many of them do you think haven't even seen a picture? A lot. Anyway, let's look at a taste of like the type of content that Ollie London has been posting. Dylan Mulvaney responds to backlash over her recent brand partnership with Nike, Women, and Bud Light. In a TikTok video, Dylan pretends to cry and acts upset, claiming, "There's a lot going on and I feel a little down due to the backlash. It should be obvious to anyone now that Dylan is an actor and a bad one at that, and his whole career..." Now I'm reading it word for word, so you got me misgendering. "Her whole career involves mocking women and pretending to be a little girl. This woman is not an influencer that any child should be looking up to. Dylan Mulvaney, #trans, #TikTok." And this has, of course, nearly 10,000 likes. I imagine most of the people who like it do not know the person who posted this and their history.
Hi, how are you? I haven't been making as many...
By the way, isn't it funny how everything they said was completely, like, projection? That, like, Dylan Mulvaney's an actor and they're just pretending? That's literally just... That's a tongue-in-cheek, like, Ollie London giving away the game of what they're doing. It's projection.
Videos. There's been a lot going on, and I was feeling a little down today, but I was walking on the sidewalk in New York, and this garbage truck drives by me, and the garbage man leans out of the truck and goes, "Hello, Dylan." And I went, "Hello." It was the most unexpected person, and it gave me the courage to keep going. And I love you. And if you're that man that's watching this right now, you really made my day. And I especially love you. Okay. Hi.
So, not only has Ollie London successfully started a financially profitable grift as a detransitioner, but they are also on board with the full-on hyper-cruel part of it. Like, they do the thing where they, like, quote tweet random trans people, call them men, and, like, encourage their audience to harass them. Like, they're a full-on, like, harasser bigot. Like, they're not just doing the grift where it's like they just post videos about how they were, like, groomed and that's their grift. No, they're on the aggro against trans people, attacking them, just like Matt Walsh and the rest of these types. So I genuinely do think like Ollie London is one of the worst people that's in the lineup of conservative right-wing figures. There's like another Blair White. It's worse than Blair White because, you know, Blair White's trans. Ollie London was never actually trans. Ollie London was clearly just an attention-seeking grifter who did that whole thing just for attention and money and is now moving on to a new thing, which ironically enough involves like weaponizing or like attacking the community you were mocking with your previous grift. It's very disgusting. It's like downright evil.